to have you guys back in person. It's nice. 6 feet away. Everything's looking good. Yeah, we're really excited to get back here. I think we've had a very productive off season. Rick and Rob, Ryan Munnins, they've done an unbelievable job. I told them that yesterday. They've done an unbelievable job of trying to address some of the needs and the holes that we have on this football team. And then Mark and Ziggy, they were outstanding as far as giving them the okay to do these same type of things. We've had a couple really good days here with the rookies out here. They've come in and recalled a lot of things that we talked about in the spring, and it was great to get our hands on them. As far as get the fans out here tomorrow. It's going to be 105 heat index, so they're going to have to hydrate whatever they decide to hydrate with. But it'll be great to get them back in U.S. Bank Stadium, where we have a distinct advantage with our crowd and our fans. So with that, I'll do my best to answer questions. Excuse me?
With Rick Dennison, what do you envision his role being this year?
Yeah, we set it up, so part of this was, Rick is a football coach, and he's got 40 years of experience doing what he's doing. And so I felt like it was important that we use him as a resource, but we also give him the opportunity to continue to work. With the way the protocols are, that you can't be around the players in person, and so, but he has so much knowledge and so much experience that I felt like he could be a big help with Rick and Clint, and myself, so that we can go from there. So basically, what he's going to be doing is, he's going to watch the practice with the offensive coaches. He's going to be helping to evaluate, little things like I've got Paul Gunther up there with me now, and he'll sit in the meetings and we'll talk about, have you thought about doing it this way, or, is he taking the right step on this particular run, or, is he shooting his left hand the way he's supposed to do it? So all those things are things that I think he can really help us with. And then the next part, with that part with training camp, and as we prepare for games, as we start getting ready for the games in the season, he'll be helping with game plan ideas, third down ideas, protection ideas, and things like that. And Phil's the one going to, I also felt like it was important that there's one voice in that meeting room, so he's going to be in charge of the meeting room. I've got the utmost confidence in Phil. He's had very, very many opportunities to leave here, and we've talked him out of it, because I figured that someday he might, Rick might decide to retire or whatever, and Phil would be ready to go into this thing. So, but he's had a lot of opportunities to leave, and it was important that way. So I felt this was the best win-win situation for our football team, and also with Rick. And I was, luckily, Peter Schaefer and Rick did a good job of hammering out the ideas, and the coaches came up with, what his specific duties will be. No, he's going to be the consultant. We won't have a run game coordinator. They're going to do it collectively.
What is the arrangement for this year only, or would this go back to the way it was?
Ben, so many things change throughout the course of the season with protocols, and the NFL might change things, and and maybe he decides to get vaccinated. Who knows? So the deal is that I said that we will address all those issues when the time comes. So as of for right now, that's what it's going to be, and then we'll figure it out as, if things change.
The challenge is outspoken at the end of minicamp to the players about the importance of getting vaccinated to help the season go smoother. How do you feel like the team is at this point, like entering camp?
Yeah, it's so I'm going to talk personally right now, okay? So personally, with this Delta variant the way it is right now, and the people that are getting infected, I think it's extremely important that everyone gets vaccinated. Everyone has to make their own decisions. Same thing with our players. But I will continue to push that they understand everything. Like we've had Dr. Sills and we've had former players and all those guys talk about the reasons why you should get vaccinated. And I also think that you're seeing a lot of people now that didn't get vaccinated that are deciding that, you know what, maybe we should have. So I just want our players to be safe. I want them to be healthy. I want their families to be healthy and safe. And if they don't get vaccinated, they got to follow the protocols.
In June, 3 prominent players, Adam Thielen, Harrison Smith, and Sheldon Richardson, all said they weren't vaccinated. Do you talk to them personally? Do you talk to players personally who you know aren't vaccinated, or what?
No, I talk to the team. And then they make their own decisions, and it is what it is. Excuse me?
Can you say what the team-wide rate is for the locker room? Are you at 70, 80%?
No, I'm not going to talk about that.
How are you gonna make sure that this doesn't become a divide in the team?
Well, I understand exactly what you're saying, Joe. I'm going to talk to him about it, but I don't feel it's going to be that way. Most of these guys feel like they're bulletproof anyway, with their age and their athleticism and things like that. So, we're going to make sure that we treat each other with respect, and understand that, guys make decisions because of whatever reasons that they have. And so as long as they're following protocols like the NFL asked them to do, just like they're asking us to do, then, I have no problem with it. It will be more stressful on them. They're going to have to wait out in their car for 30 minutes after they get tested, and it's just there's a lot of things they're going to have to do, but that's their choice and that's their decision.
Mike Daniel Hunter said when we talked to him at OTAs, he's not rushing to get back in football shape. He says he's at 100% health, but how soon do you anticipate he'll be back doing football things?
Tomorrow.
How do you feel about the kicker situation right now?
It's hard to tell in practice. Greg Joseph made him every kick in practice. We try to put him in pressure situations and things like that. I do believe that we have to be better in special teams overall. We have to be more explosive in the return game. That's part of the reason why we signed Dede. We have to create some big plays on both kickoff and punt returns. But I do feel like the depth of our football team will allow us to be better in a lot of these phases, coverage phases and return phases and things like that. So, we'll just keep plugging away. I've been really impressed with what he did in the spring, and then we'll, hopefully it'll continue throughout the season.
Just in terms of on the field, what are the challenges of replacing an offensive line coach right at the start of training camp?
Well, really, it's really not that much, honestly. I mean, they've been using the same techniques and things for 2 years. If it was a completely different system, we brought a guy in off the street that was going to change how they, the protection calls and the run game calls and things like that. But Phil's been in this system for quite a while. He's in Washington, when they ran it, so, and he's got a great feeling for what we've been trying to do with the run game, the calls, the steps, the footwork, the hand placement. And Phil is a very aggressive, boisterous, I guess is a good word for it, coach that will push these guys.
How's he doing mentally, physically, what he's kind of going?
I guess the best way to answer that would be anytime you've been shot 4 times, you're going to be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe nervous about, things, I guess is the best way to say it. So we'll just take our time with him and kind of go from there.
Like Rick mentioned, excitement from the coaching staff about the receivers now with D. Westbrook this year, past Thielen and Jefferson. How do you see that?
Yeah, I don't know. KJ Osborne had a really good spring. Amar Smith-Marset I watch him out here today with the rookies, and he does a lot of really good things. So we'll let it all play out. These guys all have opportunities. Fortunately, we got a couple really good tight ends that we can use in those situations as well. I anticipate that we'll be in a lot of two tight end formations as we continue to move forward anyway. And use Irv as some of the mismatch kind of things on some linebackers, and depending on what the defenders are doing against us. And so, I watched Dede work out the other day, and man, he caught everything. It was very, very impressive, and he's a big speed guy and has been a really good returner. So we'll see how it all shakes out. We got a lot of time.
Dede coming off of that ACL, is that something where you feel like you need to take it slow with him, or is he pretty much full go?
Well, that's kind of why we waited a little bit to see where he's at. And he's ready to go, so he'll get out here tomorrow and go.
How much less this anxiety do you have heading into camp this year? When you've had the camps, you signed some veteran players, where last year it was just completely opposite.
Yeah, I always have anxiety. It's that's why I got that big bottle of Pepto-Bismol up there. I think it will be. It is much better. We've had a chance to work with the players and talk to them, and I have not been able to have a team meeting with them in person yet, which I will today for the first time, which is good. I think it's important that that we see. I see what they're doing when I'm talking to them, as opposed to playing on their phone while they're faking that they're on the Zoom or something like that too. So I think all those things are important. I'm excited about this football team. I think these guys upstairs have honestly done an unbelievable job filling a lot of the holes that we have, and add guys like Sheldon Richardson and get Michael Pierce and Dalvin Tomlinson and Pat Peterson, and Breland and Xavier Woods. He had a good spring, so it's going to look completely different, and I like the way that this group is heading.
Are you to see Michael Pierce in pads, and how much longer do you think that's going to be delayed?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to answer it this way, okay? So last year we had a player that had a tweak at the time that I knew that he had a tweak. Now things changed throughout there, but I got ridiculed for about a year because it was a tweak, and at that time it was. So we'll just see when he's ready to go, and he'll go.
A lot of changes in the NFC North this year. What are your thoughts on the division now compared to when the season wrapped up?
Good question. I know Dan Campbell very well, and he's going to have a tough, hard-nosed football team. That's kind of how he was. He was as a player when he was with us in Dallas. Green Bay is always really good, and Chicago, I believe, will be a lot better. So I think it's going to be a great division, and I'm excited. Better too.
Did you ever think there was a chance that Rodgers wouldn't report?
I don't. I have a hard enough time knowing if our guys are going to report.
Pretty important guy. You weren't keeping track of that at all?
I might have kept track of it.
Cooler heads prevail. Let's just talk this through. Keep continuity, but also relationship-wise, knowledge-wise, everything like that.
Yeah. Dawn, it went on for about 3 months, and I told Rick, Rick Spielman, I told him, I'm glad that you're patient, because I'm probably not as patient as you are. And with him and his agent Peter Schaefer and Rick Dennison, we were able to all come to an agreement. And as you said, cooler heads prevailed.
What's your take on what you've seen out of Chaz Surratt so far, and how much do you think he might potentially be able to contribute as a rookie?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a good athlete. He missed a lot of spring. I've seen him for 2 days out here now. He's a good athlete. That's all I know right now.
You mentioned earlier Peterson and Breland. How do you feel about where just the cornerback group?
I thought Pat had a really good spring. Breland was hurt, so he hasn't done anything, but he's going to start getting out here a little bit now. And then Danzer was hurt, so I know he has a bunch of ability. He's got to get a little bit more belief in himself, I guess is the best way to say it, of the things that he can do. We added Mackenzie Alexander, who had a really good spring, in my opinion, who really has grown up an awful lot since the time he left, and when he came back. So, I feel pretty good about it. I think we got some good depth there. I'm okay with it. Proof is in the pudding. You got to go out there and cover. We can find anybody to play cover too.
With Darrisaw missing some time in the spring doing TCA, are you going to work him in a little slowly coming off that groin surgery?
Yeah, he's he feels good. We're going to bring him in slow. He had last couple days he was out here, moved well. We're going to be very careful with him on these first few days.
You're bringing in a number of new defensive players. With those new players, is that a real factor that you think about, or is that a storyline that can be overrated?
I think it's important, but you develop chemistry by being around one another, being in the same room, being out here on the field, talking to one another. The spring was really good for them. I think they felt comfortable with one another. Xavier Woods was very communicative next to Harrison Smith. The D-line, Dalvin getting around these other guys, I think was really good. And then, having Barr back is big. Kendricks, we just got, we got some good football players back here. So, that's a good thing. Let's keep going, Bob.
One more? I got more. Mike, when you address the team tonight in person, what do you expect your message to be as camp gets going?
Basically, I don't give the whole thing out, but I got some areas where I feel like we need to improve on all three phases. My message is going to be that we have a good football team, but we got to go out and prove it. We got to go out and earn it every single day we step out here on the grass. There's going to be a lot of competition, and I act professional and work really hard and work together. And our the biggest thing is that let's not fall short of what we can do. Let's whatever our level of ability is and intelligence and hard work, whatever that is, let's make sure that we at least fulfill that part, and if not do more. Okay? Thank you.